Meanwhile, Malaysia's Economic Affairs Minister Azmin Ali has expressed disappointment towards the latest poverty report by United Nations Special Rapporteur Philip Alston. Mr. Alston put Malaysia's poverty rate at 15%, much higher than the official figure of 0.4%.
The minister slammed Mr. Alston's remarks as unacceptable and irresponsible. Our correspondent Melissa Goh has the details.
Now, Malaysia says its official poverty rate dropped from 49% in year 1970 to just 0.4% in 2016. Now, in other words, poverty hardly exists in the country. And that's because the national poverty line is set too low at less than $240 per household every month, which means the government expects urban family of 4 surviving on less than $2 a day. And that is impossible, according to the United Nations Special Rapporteur, given today's cost of living. Now, Professor Philip Alston, who's just completed an 11-day visit across 4 states in Malaysia, including the East Malaysian state of Sabah and Sarawak, puts the country's poverty rate at least 15%. The most vulnerable groups, he said, struggling with poverty are the Orang Asli, or the indigenous people, the undocumented workers, the stateless people, including children and refugees and asylum seekers. Now, Malaysia government, he said, should revise the way it measures poverty. Undercounting has led to underinvestment in poverty reduction, putting the people who are in need of food, housing and education the most at risk.
No government wants to say, yesterday we told you there was no poverty. Today we've changed and now we're going to tell you that almost 1 in 6 Malaysian is poor. Governments don't want to do that. But it's essential for the government to bite the bullet and say, look, high income status is approaching. Malaysia is a very rich country. We now need to acknowledge that our people deserve a much better standard of living.
While the UN expert recommends a more coordinated and transparent efforts by the present government to address the plight of the marginalized and the poor, others have highlighted the issue of urban poor.
It's almost about 30% of the city where people can't afford or are living in low income. Because the poverty line was put very much low. So if the average income is about 2,000 ringgit and they have 4 or 5 kids, the wife is also working, then the experience of deprivation is quite high.